Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 1st. We are just going to jump right in here. Sure, we'll take both of these cards. Why not? You have this inspiration card. It says, a spark of inspiration will ignite a brilliant new idea. You have the self-made card. You will become successful or rich by your own efforts. Like, are you kidding, Gemini? This is definitely very amazing. So both of those cards kind of go hand in hand. You know, it's like, you have the idea and then you kind of create the business or you become successful. So, damn, this is a good reading, Gemini. I think your last reading was really good too, if I'm not mistaken, but this definitely looks very positive. I kind of feel like it's a right track reading. It's like saying, you know, if you're thinking about some sort of business idea or career idea, or even if you're retired, you know, you could be thinking of ways to like save more money or whatever it is you're thinking about doing financially. This reading is definitely saying, yes, look at this. Definitely very good. You know, having the Emperor and the Empress. This could be divine counterparts. So, you know, if you're looking for love, definitely could be love. But as I always say, I just love readings where both the Emperor and the Empress come up together, even if you're not looking for love, because it can say that you can basically say your energy is just in alignment, like you're in balance. You are, you know, balanced between your masculine and your feminine, creative and action energies. And, you know, by doing that, you're able to, you know, create whatever you want, or you're able to build a business or whatever it is you're trying to do, improve your health. It could be anything. You know, I feel like you're ready to take action. It's saying you're on the right path. There might be a little bit of confusion here because you have the moon going on here. The moon can definitely represent confusion. The thing in Mercury retrograde right now as well, the thing that I always say is on the moon card, it's not completely dark. And, you know, if you've ever been outside on the, you know, on a full moon, you know that it kind of can light up the area around you, or it can, you know, can kind of, it's kind of like bright out, but you don't necessarily see everything. And there are also like shadows, you know, all over the place, which can represent the illusions, things that are not real. So I wouldn't be afraid to start anything during a Mercury retrograde. I've started so many things during retrogrades. Some of the things last, some of them don't, but I know that going into it. I know it's a Mercury retrograde. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, right? And so it drives me nuts when I hear astrologers be like, don't start things during retrogrades. It's like, okay, like if you listen to astrology and if you if you truly knew astrology and you truly paid attention to every little thing that's going on in the sky, you would never do anything. You would live in a bubble. That's what you would do. So, you know, to me, I don't think we should let astrology control our lives. And it's like, you know, I would just like pay attention with this energy, and I would just realize that there might be some things that work and there are going to be other things that don't work. But that's like that's life in general. So I kind of feel like this is saying, don't be afraid to get started. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Don't be afraid to get started. He is the only knight in the tarot that represents no movement. He is the only knight in the tarot that is not moving. And he has these empty fields behind him. He just needs to get started. The only thing that he needs is the star. The star is about having, you know, it's about having like a North Star. It's about having something to aim at that you use as your kind of like your guiding light. And I think it's interesting that we not only go to the Seven of Swords, which is definitely going to be important in your reading, outside of lying, cheating, stealing, the Seven of Swords can represent tactics. It can basically say, and you might run into some situations, right? If you are starting like a new business or a new job, or, you know, if you're moving during this retrograde, whatever it is, you might enter into some situations where you don't know what to do. Seven of Swords says find a way, and it also says find another way. So, you know, I feel like you will come up with solutions. But what's really interesting, you have the Ace of Wands. You also have the Three of Wands. He's grabbing on to this wand. And, you know, one of my favorite people of all time, Les Brown, he always says that your reasons will be your rod and your staff that, you know, help guide you and comfort you on your journey when you are trying to accomplish things and things aren't working. So you know, it's kind of, he says it much more eloquently than I do. But what I would say here is I feel like maybe the star is saying that you need to have your why, but also like some reasons as to why you are doing something, because then it won't matter if it's Mercury retrograde. You will be able to comfort yourself, you know, with your ideas. With the Emperor, you have the Strength card. I do feel like you could be attracting a fire sign into your life if you're looking for love. I'm pretty sure you've been getting fire with me for a while. It could just be any sign, and I would say if it's another sign, I feel like it's someone who is probably very fiery, very bold, very confident, could be entrepreneurial as well with the Emperor. With the moon, you have the Eight of Pentacles. This is like a path to success. There's like a lot of abundance, a lot of success for you on whatever it is you're thinking about starting. Again, I feel like I'm reading for someone who like wants to start something during the retrograde. Could be business, could be a new job, could be getting a new job. If you're not doing those things, the Eight of Pentacles and the Strength card, this combination to me kind of represents personal development, or, you know, doing some work on yourself, whatever that means for you. So I feel like a lot of you could be doing work on yourselves. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is, of course, a card of carrying a heavy burden. You know, normally the guy is carrying a burden, but I always say that what he is carrying is his harvest, and he's about to reach his home in the background, so he's about to have a harvest. It is a card of abundance, and it's like the end of a long journey. So I feel like you have been working hard, and it's like you're getting to the end of this journey. You're about to have your harvest right here. Empress. So this looks good to me. I kind of feel like whatever you've been waiting for, you could be getting at this time as well. You have this change card. Says change or movement in your life, new direction, relocation, progress, change of view. And you also have this sunny day card. Optimism leads to success. You're going in the right direction. There you go. So that's confirmation for your path. The other thing that I would say is, like, sometimes during retrograde, maybe you pick a path, or you think you are moving in a new direction, but the direction actually changes because of the retrograde. But I always like to remind people, it's like if you didn't make the mistake during the retrograde, it might take 10 times longer when we're out of the retrograde. So I encourage people to make mistakes during retrogrades. I think it's a great way to learn. We can always learn better. I also think that retrogrades are an amazing time for experimentation. So, you know, if you're working on something that you've already been working on, then technically you're not starting something new. You know, technically you're kind of you're experimenting with what you already do, which retrogrades are an amazing time for experimentation. So, you know, definitely I would be focusing on that here. You have the Justice card, the Star, and the Ace of Wands. Justice is cause and effect. I think that everybody needs to do this right now. You know, basically plant seeds. Knight of Pentacles needs to plant seeds in those fields. I think everybody has a little bit too much overthinking going on. There's too much overthinking energy in general. And, you know, what we need to do is kind of like stop overthinking. As someone who overthinks, I know how hard that is. And we just need to plant seeds. Like, what is the tiniest, littlest step that you can take in, you know, to start that business, to ask that person out, to go on a date in the first place, to, you know, spend more time with friends, whatever your goal is, doesn't matter. But it's like, what is the tiniest little step or steps that you can take? And, you know, justice to me is cause and effect. If you put energy into something, what do you get back? And if you get something back, keep going. I also feel, by the way, that some of you could be getting karma here. You have the Seven of Swords. We're talking about positive karma. You know, if someone lied, cheated, or stole from you, you could be kind of, you know, getting, it looks to me like the universe is balancing back out. Again, it makes sense. We have these eclipses. Also, Mercury retrograde can bring karma back from the past. So, you know, there you go. You have the Star card. You know, Star is, again, for you, I feel, about having a North Star, having like that one thing that you work towards, or like one big goal, wish, or dream that you want to accomplish. And no matter what is going on around you, again, I would use your creative ideas to kind of support you. You know, I would use your reasons why you are doing something as a form of support. And, you know, I feel like that's what the Ace of Wands is saying, believe it or not. I definitely feel there is like a new beginning coming in for you. It feels much more like, what I should say is it feels less restrictive. You have this Breathe card coming up next, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but I feel like that Breathe card is saying you can breathe. You know, it's like you're entering into a time where there's more breathing room, where maybe there's more flexibility, you have more money or whatever. It's like you're not so restricted is what I feel there. So that's nice. With the Justice card, you have the Fool. Definitely time for you to take a leap of faith. So I feel like it's time for a risk. You know, you could be taking the risk of moving towards something new here with the Fool. I do feel like a positive new beginning. I would also say that, you know, the Fool and the Seven of Swords, he has these polka dots on his cloak. The Fool can just represent needing to have fun. Polka dots in the tarot represent taking things too seriously. So I do feel for a lot of you, like having more fun, not taking things too seriously would be a good idea. With the Star, you have the Hermit. Yes, the Hermit has the star inside his lantern. He's basically holding his star in. You know, I feel that some of you need to let your star out. Like, I feel like you need to shine your light, and like, don't be afraid to shine your inner light either. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Page of Cups. Definitely could be new love coming in for you. So, again, I feel there could be a very passionate connection here going this way. It looks to me like someone is healing. I'm not sure if this is you or them, but, this looks like a very passionate connection. And you have the Three of Wands, which is, I'm actually just getting the words near future. You even have love here, attraction right here. But again, Emperor, Empress. So, again, you could be attracting a person from a distance or something like that. I feel like I've been saying that to you recently. Next, you have this Breathe card. This is from the Threads of Fate Empyrean Oracle. Full disclosure, I do have a business relationship with Threads of Fate, but this is an awesome deck, and they're launching 3 new awesome decks that are even more awesome, and you can find out more about that in the link down below. It's a Kickstarter, but definitely check those out. But what I would say is I feel less restricted on this Breathe card. Like, I feel like it's saying that you can breathe, that maybe you're getting some breathing room as well. Maybe you're always worrying about bills, and maybe you get some extra money that kind of stretches out the time, gives you more time to prepare. So that's really what I feel here. It actually feels very good. You have the Seven of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Empress. Again, it is a time to be tactical, right? I think it's super interesting that we're seeing all these banks collapsing and like all this other stuff, and we're going to see more. We're going to see more and bigger and worse. And I don't say this to scare you. I say this because there's like a huge opportunity here. I feel like people don't realize that in every crisis like this, there are certain opportunities where you could even negotiate debts, or maybe you could sell your house and get into a better position, or maybe you're renting and maybe you could find a house because the houses are going to go down in price in the future. I'm just, spitballing here, but, I feel there are a lot of examples. And the reason I'm saying this on the Seven of Swords is because, yeah, it can represent lying, cheating, stealing, but really it's a card of tactics. He's stealing those swords from an army in the background, so he's not going directly to war. Again, I think if people are smart, they will see that there are so many opportunities. It's like, there's so many, like the world is changing very rapidly. I've said it before, come back to me in 20 years. I promise you, you will see things that you never thought possible happening over the next 20 years. I mean, I can't even predict it because I think that my own mind will be blown by the changes. But again, it's like a lot changes over 20 years. But again, the last 20 years, this next 20 years will not even compare to the last 100 years. We're going to see, crazy innovation, crazy, speeding up of things, right? And so what I would say is like, how can you use these things to your advantage? How can you take advantage of AI, for example? How can you take advantage of the collapse? How can you, work with the energy? If your bank is collapsing, how can you negotiate with your bank on a debt, right? Because maybe those opportunities will exist. I'm not saying that they will. I'm just saying maybe. But again, the other thing that I always say is squeaky wheel gets the grease. For every single person that leaves me a comment that says, oh, that doesn't work, like whatever my suggestion is, I have like 20 people that have done it, right? That will leave a comment responding to that person. I've done it, right? So it's like, again, you won't know unless you ask or try. You have the Four of Swords here, card of recovery. I do feel this is kind of just like a recovery period for you where you could be recovering your finances or making more money. We even have the Empress here, so definitely focusing on increasing your abundance. I feel, I really feel security is, look at this, Emperor at the bottom of the deck here, by the way. But I really feel increasing your security is something that you're going to be very focused on, especially your financial security, right? With the Seven of Swords, you have the Hangman. A lot of enlightenment here, Star. You have the Star, the Hermit. You have that Sunny Day card as well. So you have a lot of cards that would represent kind of like gaining some answers or understanding your next steps, which I definitely feel here. With the Four of Swords, you have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, you're kind of spoiled for choice. Some of you, it's like in love, you could be very spoiled for choice, but I also feel like you could be attracting a person who has a lot of options. Didn't I say this to you last time? You have this trust card here as well. If you're attracting a person who has a lot of options, it's not like, I don't think they exercise their options. They're not looking to, be a player or anything like that. So, I would say, yes, they might have options, but that doesn't make them a player, right? With the Empress, damn, you have the Ten of Pentacles here. If you're attracting love, especially if it's like a Leo, could be a Leo, Aquarius, Virgo, could be any sign, really, general reading, but those are the signs that really stand out to me. Taurus, could be a water sign as well. So, basically everything. I feel like it'll be very abundant. Ten of Pentacles to me is the best love card in the tarot. It's like, having everything that you desire to have in a relationship. If it's not a relationship. It could be, but it could also be a business or financial security that you're creating. It seems like you're trying to create a lot of financial security here. Next, you have this trust card. Again, if you're meeting a person, I feel like you will have to trust this person, obviously. Maybe your trust was broken in the past. You have the Seven of Swords, so maybe someone kept you waiting or kept you stuck or whatever, and they turned out to be a liar. So, definitely something to think about here. But I kind of feel like it's saying, it's time for you to like get out there or trust again, or maybe you're feeling like you want to trust again. I do feel if you're getting into something long distance, obviously there's going to have to be trust and, communication here. So definitely something to think about. You have the Three of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups here. Three of Wands is a card of expansion and growth. It's also a card that says, what are you waiting for? So if you're like wanting, maybe you need to trust yourself more than anything. It's like if you're doing something that you've never done before, you are going to need to trust yourself. So, some of you, I feel this is saying there's a big opportunity in front of you for expansion, but you're going to have to take that leap of faith. You're going to have to, you're going to have to get going, is what this Three of Wands is saying. The Four of Pentacles, holding on to a comfort zone. I don't know, like every single person I read for gets this, so why, I don't know. But, I feel like everybody needs to kind of leave a comfort zone or leave comfort zones that they're stuck in, because these comfort zones could be like holding them back, like everybody. So, don't be afraid to let go of things that are holding you back. You also have the Queen of Cups. I think this is the only thing that matters right now, is that we follow our heart. There is a certain element of Pluto and Aquarius. I can't quite put my finger on it, but where we really have to follow our heart. Our heart could be telling us to do something, and we need to move in that direction. The problem is that maybe it doesn't make sense, or, maybe, especially with Neptune and Pisces as well, we could have ideas that go against our ancestral beliefs. Like, we're all raised to believe something, and maybe we have a belief that challenges the way we were raised. Like one example is maybe you were raised, maybe everyone in your family has, gone to school, gone to college, and then gotten a career, but maybe you want to start a business, and maybe everyone in your family thinks that it's super risky to have a business, but maybe that's what you want to do, right? So you could be breaking some sort of ancestral family ideas. That's just one example. Maybe everybody in your family gets married and you don't want to. Maybe nobody gets married. Maybe everybody gets divorced, and maybe you want to have a successful relationship where you don't get divorced. Again, there's some sort of breaking of a pattern here, or just breaking of a belief is kind of what I'm getting. But it has to do with your heart. Your heart is telling you to do something. That's all that should matter. With the Three of Wands, you have the Tower and the World. Both cards want to come out together. Definitely a big life-changing moment or life-changing decision is kind of coming up for you at this time, I feel, Gemini. I feel there's a lot of abundance and success if you do this. Both these cards can represent a transformation. The World, in the tarot, we go from the Fool to the World, and then we start all over again as the Fool. The Tower can just represent, again, breaking of some sort of belief. Doesn't even have to be that big of a deal. For others, I definitely feel you were dealing with like a liar, cheater, stealer, but again, I feel like you already know that. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords represents only seeing one way of doing things, so I feel like you need to realize that there are many ways that you could do pretty much anything that you want to do. It's just about kind of like seeing that there are other ways to accomplish your goals. With the Queen of Cups, you have the King of Cups stamp. This is, definitely like, divine counterparts right here. So in the Star, this would be like a wish or a dream come true. The Hermit would tell me that someone needs to open up here. So if you're interested in a person, obviously you have to open up. If they're interested in you, I mean, we can't force people to do things, but this could also be that a person is like a secret admirer, is kind of like the vibes that I'm getting here, that someone has to open up so that this can become something. So there you go. Take the risk if it's you here, Gemini, is what I'm going to say. But we're going to pull 5 main themes now. Let's see. You have this frying pan. It says trouble, accusations, Seven of Swords to the Tower. I would be really careful of, a past person here, especially if they're causing trouble or causing problems. I kind of feel the feeling of like someone posting on social media. Maybe they're like posting lies about you, or they might not even be posting directly about you. They might just be saying things that are, about you, but not directed at you, if that makes sense. Like kind of, being sneaky. But I would just ignore it. You have this Elephant card. It says a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. Yes, you are definitely on this long journey. to create some like happiness or whatever. It's like, you have that sunny day card says you're going in the right direction. So I feel like, and things are going to develop. That card, it also says summer. So I feel like by the time we get into summer, things are really, really going to start developing at this time. Not like you're working on whatever you're working on right now and you're going to see results. But I feel like once we get to summer, that's when things heat up. Now you have this chair filled that says someone new is entering into your life. Yes, definitely a new connection. I feel like this is a wish or a dream come true with that star card if you're looking for love. If you're not looking for love, again, I feel this could be you committing to like a business or something that you're creating. You have this coins card. Money will be coming in for you. Yes, we already know this. Definitely great wealth is what I see here. You have this flowers card. It says happiness. Yeah, I see a lot of happiness just in general. Don't let things mess you up. I actually kind of get the feeling here that if you have people hating or whatever, or if all of a sudden for the rest of this month, I wouldn't even say just this week. I would say for the rest of the month. If you have people hating, I think it's because it's like you should take it as a clue that you're going in the right direction, right? So, I think that you shouldn't worry about that. But looks really, really good here, Gemini. I like where this is going. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.